I am currently watching the 1992 adaptation of Dracula, and I think that people talk about Avatar The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan as the worst movie that was ever made. Um, and I think that reflects how young the generation on Tumblr is because we were too young to experience this. This. It's like so faithful in so many tiny details to the book in so many bizarre ways. And then it takes a steaming shit on general characterization and themes and everything else about the novel and everything that makes the book what it is. Like, Jonathan Harker is played by Keanu Reeves, if that just if that can give you any sort of impression as to what kind of film this is going to be. However, I I thought that it was going to be acceptable because in addition to Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker, we also have Gary Oldman as literally Dracula. Like, Gary Oldman's excellent. Who doesn't love Gary Oldman? And they have Cary Elwes as Arthur Holmwood, later Lord Godalming, and he's Cary Elwes. And they have Winona Ryder as Mina Harker, and they have Anthony Hopkins as I think he plays Van Helsing. I haven't gotten there yet, and I'm an hour into this movie. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. And it's so long. And, like, they included the part of the book where Jonathan's going to the castle and he sees the blue flames outside his carriage window. And they don't explain them. They explain them in the novel because they're like little blue flyers that show up on St. George's Day at midnight to show where treasure's buried, and that's partly how Dracula gets so rich. And they explain all that in the book, but they don't explain that in this movie. And they just have the blue fires. And why would you include that? And I can't even begin to express how bad the characterization is of literally everybody. There's a point in the novel where Dr. Seward says, "Oh, I'm having trouble sleeping because I'm aching with love for Lucy, and she shut me down." And he's pretty cool with it, actually. Like, that's one of the things I can say about Dracula is sexism and racism galore, but nobody complains about the friend zone. Small blessings. But at one point in the book, he's having trouble sleeping, and he feels like he needs to take some morphine, but then he thinks about Lucy, and he's like, no, I don't want to dishonor her, the thought of her, by taking drugs and then going to sleep, which I'm still a little confused on. I've never 100% understood that, but clearly he's being noble about that, and he totally 100% shoots up in this movie and then says, "Oh, Lucy." And Lucy is an incredible tart. She can obviously do what she wants. That's fine. I am actually all for her presenting herself with as many options for marriage as she possibly can, because she's a real cool lady. But that's not how she is in the book at all. And it's so... Oh, I haven't even gotten to the fact that apparently Mina is Dracula's reincarnated wife who threw herself off the castle because she thought her husband was dead. And she's been reincarnated in London as Mina Harker, and she's engaged to Jonathan, and she's typing her journal, which, again, not accurate in the books. She writes in shorthand because she's practicing, and she's also learning the typewriter, but they're separate projects. They're not the same thing. And she's also reading Arabian Nights / the Kama Sutra. I don't think they researched that book. I don't think... It's not the same book, but it's clearly illustrations from the Kama Sutra. And so now Dracula's in London, and he's following Winona Ryder as Wilhelmina Murray at this point. That's so weird. Why would you include the blue flames on St. George's Day? But then just ignore everything else about the novel. I can't even be, I, it's like someone made a porn version of Dracula. Someone made a porn version of Dracula and cut out all the sex scenes. And that's why it's so fucking awful. And there's so many odd scenes, but not quite sex scenes, because it's a movie, it's a film, it's rated R, though. But they filmed a porn, and that's why it's 2 hours and 40 fucking minutes long. This is longer than Lord of the Rings, I think. I think this is longer than, like, a Fellowship of the Ring extended edition. I think it is. And it's so bad. It's so bad. Anyways, Avatar: The Last Airbender and Dracula are of kindred spirits. And I don't know why I'm still watching this movie.